Right, okay, so today we are here to learn about 3 sourcing hacks using Seller AMP, and I'm really happy to, be on this call right now with Warner Fields. He is an amazing seller and obviously another YouTuber who is sharing the journey. Warner, thank you so much for joining me today and taking time out of your your business to obviously share these hacks with yourself. If anyone doesn't know who you are, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and maybe what you've achieved over the last 12 months?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much for having me. It's fun to finally be on the channel, being very similar content creators, so it's nice to be here. But yeah, my name's Warner. I am from Arkansas in the US. I have been selling on Amazon for just shy of 4 years now. So I started selling used books. That was kind of just my college side hustle for a little bit, and then have worked it up into an online arbitrage business. Last 12 months, I've done about $1.1 million in revenue. We're doing a little over $100,000 a month right now, looking to grow that, but it's been an awesome journey for sure.
My God, that's amazing. Hopefully I will join you at the 7 figures at the end of the year, but my God, honestly, well done to you. Super impressive. And I love selling in the USA. It's absolutely amazing. But hey, we're not here to talk about our journey. We're actually here to learn about the 3, sourcing hacks using Seller AMP. Now, this is a tool that I use and I love it as well, and I know you're a big fan of it as well, but I don't want to sit here forever and talk too much about it. I want to get in and learn about these hacks. So can you talk us through, give us the first hack, tell us what it is, and if you're happy to, jump on the screen share, talk us, and give us a live demonstration of how to do this to improve our sourcing.
Yeah, for sure. We'll jump in real quickly, but basically the first way that I really like to use Seller AMP is doing reverse sourcing. I'm sure a lot of you guys at home are familiar with this sourcing method, but Seller AMP helps us do it way more efficiently. Essentially, the way it works is we're going to click on seller's storefront, and we're just going to look at what they're selling, and we can dive in the computer here, and we'll get kind of more into the weeds with it. All right, so I was jumping in and I was looking at this product right here. This is a product that my team identified as a lead, just as an example for how this works. So we're looking at this product. We identified it at Walmart for $5.93. Plugging all that in. It's a decent lead, sells 47 times. We're gonna make 55% ROI, but something that we can learn that's a lot more interesting from an item like this. You can also do this starting from a retail store brand like Great Value, Up and Up, like any of those Walmart, Target brand, that kind of thing. And the reason for that is listings like this that are profitable arbitrage items are being sold from stores like Walmart and Target. So we can go down here to the offers tab. And when we do this, we're going to be ripping through the storefronts like we were talking about. And we can click on a storefront. I like to do it with storefronts that don't have a ton of reviews, but they have a little bit of reviews, because somebody like this who has 500 ratings, they're probably doing pretty decent volume. They might figure out some things that you sitting at home, especially if you're a beginner, you might not be able to figure out. But something like this, like these 83 feedback right here, they've been selling for a little bit, they're figuring stuff out, but we can probably still figure out where they're getting a lot of their stuff from. So all we have to do is, as you can see, I'm just clicking through here on this button, and then it's going to pull up a ton more detail within Seller AMP's backend. And so this is a sourcing method that I would say I use the most. My virtual assistant team uses this method all the time, because we can see a lot of information. For one, we can see the max cost. So like on an item like this, we know that we're probably not going to be able to buy this sunscreen for $2 a bottle. So we can just keep scrolling on past something like this. We also get the Keepa charts, which helps us, maintain profitability in the long run, because it's showing us, for example, like this item right here, we can see that orange price is decreasing really, really quickly. Typically that pattern is going to keep declining there. And we don't want to hop on listings that are just on a steady decline in price. So that's another thing that helps us continue to scroll past. So as I'm looking through a storefront here, I'm looking for products like this one, where maybe I'm not sure if I can get this for $7, 20 cents. Probably can, based on just looking at it. And this is something you'll learn over time. Another thing that helps with this sourcing method is knowing what kind of coupons are going on at particular times, especially when we're finding brands that are different retail stores, especially things like vitamins, stuff like that. There's gonna be a lot of coupons going on all the time on coupons on different There's going to be a lot of coupons going on vitamins on different websites, so that's very useful information to know. But when we're curious if we can maybe buy it for a price like that, we just click the Google button, and as we can see, this is selling for $9 over here on Target. Looks like Walgreens might have it for $12. So right now there is actually a sale on Walgreens as far as I remember. So we could go ahead and investigate this and see what's going on. Maybe some kind of site-wide sale, see if there's anything going on. But this would be something to add to a list where maybe next time there's a 25% off sale or a buy one get one. That's pretty common, especially on sites like this. It could actually meet our profit criteria of being $7.20. So this is a really efficient way that helps you rip through storefronts a lot faster than if you're just randomly looking at products. It's going to show us a ton more information all in one place, and this can really help you, especially if you're a beginner, to get a sense of what other people are selling. Because I know as a beginner, it's probably a little bit overwhelming to be like, what do I even sell? What are other people doing? Like they're putting up these huge numbers and I can't find anything. But this is a really nice method to see exactly what other people are selling.
Fantastic, thank you. And I think, you know, from my side, if I just kind of clarify, or should we say summarize what you said, find a product that you like, preferably something that you found. Maybe it's a good product, you know, maybe it's a profitable one, it doesn't necessarily have to be. You're looking at the other storefronts and you're generally, you know, depending on your skill, or should I say how long you've been selling, if you're just getting started, you're really looking for other sellers with a low review count. And the reason is because, you know, the higher review count, they might know, so we say, some more advanced techniques, or should we say things that you don't. So if they've got a low review count, have a look through their storefront, see what's going on. But also prior to this, have a look at, what's it called, the newsletters, get an idea of what's on sale at the moment, what voucher codes are out there. And then as you scroll through, you know, we're looking at really that kind of, should we say, the sale price, new FBA. And we're looking for quite a consistent sale price. And then once we've understood that, i.e. it's not changing too much because it could go crazy, we're going to have a look at the max cost and then think about, hey, is this a product that might be on discount at the moment, might be on sale? You talked about coupons there, I really love that. There's so much opportunity with coupons and discounts, but really starting to know your niche, understand what you're in, and then really just loading up Google and trying to go through some of the suppliers, you know, thinking about it, okay, that's maybe $10, $11, could we put a coupon there? I know there's one with that supplier, okay, this could be an option. And that's going to speed up that sourcing method there, but I do like it as well. Quick question for you. Obviously, maybe is there any disadvantage to using this technique at all, or something that people should be aware of?
Yeah. So the obvious downside of doing reverse sourcing is you're buying products that other people are already selling. So it's possible that you could be kind of catching the wave of the people who are going to hop on and maybe tank the listing, that kind of stuff. So if you are buying products with this method, make sure you have some kind of barrier to entry like coupons. When you're on sites with like catch-all emails, that's kind of a nugget. If you can get those 10% off codes, that kind of stuff, that's a big thing. So if you are doing this, make sure you have some kind of barrier to entry, or the product was like hard to find. You just don't want to be jumping on opportunities that 100 people are also going to be finding at the exact same time as you.
Yeah, I completely agree. And hey, I think you'll start to also know which kind of suppliers are the ones, or which kind of storefronts work and which ones don't.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. Cool, fantastic. So obviously that is, should we say, reverse sourcing, which is, should we say, hack number 1. Talk about hack number 2.
Yeah, so the second way that I like to use SellerAmp is to go actually to like sales sections of different websites. So for example, let's say we were going to a Nike.com clearance, whatever website that has clearance out there. A lot of times this would be something you could like plug into a tactical arbitrage search, but a lot of times those scraping softwares are going to miss a lot of good products just by the nature of how they work. So if you're going through a website like this, you could pull up a product, let's say this hoodie right here. You have a hunch that it could be profitable on Amazon. What we would do is we can go ahead and press the SellerAmp Chrome extension up here. And this is actually just going to take the title of the item and it's going to search it into Amazon over here on the left side. And then once that fully loads in, we can see a bunch of the different listings for this particular hoodie. And in this case, I'm not seeing anything particularly jumping out to me, but this helps you rip through clearance sections, all that kind of stuff. In this case, I'll show you how it works with this item we already identified. We can just type it in. All we have to do is press the SellerAmp Chrome extension and it found that very same listing we were looking at. So as you're going through a sales section on Nike, whatever website you want to look through, whenever you find items that stick out to you, so for example, something like this, these pants seem to be a little bit more on the normal side, the black and white, like the normal, these funky type items generally don't sell that well on Amazon. So when I come across something like this, again, I'll just go ahead and click the SellerAmp extension, and I'm trying to see if it's going to find these sweatpants for me. And this just saves me the effort of having to copy and paste titles into Amazon, and I can see it all on the page all at once. So I can see here's a listing for, looks like a similar product, although those are joggers. So we've got these women's sweatpants. Lots of different stuff that comes up here. This actually looks like it could be the one. It's kind of open at the bottom. These are open at the bottom, but we can see it has a really high sales rank. So then that saves us the effort of having to click around through Amazon, figure out which is the right listing, figure out, oh, this product doesn't sell. So instead of having to do all that and spend a minute or two figuring that out, all we have to do is press a button, scroll down, and we can see this is not worth looking at, and we can continue on looking through. And I think this is really important because my kind of philosophy as I'm sourcing is I want to figure out how to get through the bad stuff as fast as possible. The good stuff jumps out to you. It's a lot of times it's immediately apparent, right? So tools like this help me rip through the bad stuff and know how to save clicks and time as I'm sourcing.
Cool, fantastic. So do you have a name for that sourcing method? I think you mentioned something before, like obviously that's like sourcing on the website as opposed to going to Amazon and doing it that way. Yeah,
this would be like more manually sourcing. Typically manual sourcing, you're just copy and pasting titles, that kind of stuff. This just saves you part of the effort. We call it like the one-click search within SellerAmp. It finds that title, all that kind of stuff, and then aggregates that data all in one place to help you save clicks, right?
Fantastic. So to clarify, hack number 2, the one-click search, and this is about going to a supplier site, maybe the sales section, really just doing that one-click search, looking for all the products on the left-hand side, like you got the example here. And then the top tip for you is not just kind of considering is it the same match, but kind of doing some of that analysis already, i.e. BSR, review. You mentioned it there, getting rid of the bad deals. We only want to load up the deals that potentially might be an option, and the BSR is one of them. I think for me in my business, we kind of talk about anything over 100,000. Generally, we might really be like, I'm not really too sure, but you can kind of start using that, should we say, seller amp on the side, BSR, and maybe even the offer count, and saying, actually, has it got enough offers, or is it private label or something? But that's going to really help you out and say, and also you could see the max cost and see what it is on your supplier side. So you've already kind of done your analysis straight away. So the one-click search, I love it. Thank you so much. Right. Top hack number 3, talk me through.
Yeah, so this one isn't necessarily as much of a sourcing hack as it is something that has helped me and my team save a ton of time. So within SellerAmp, if we head back to, why don't we just check out this makeup we were looking at earlier. With the Google Sheets feature, we can export a ton of different information about each product. So this is on my test account. I've got a couple different examples of why we would want to use these buttons. Number 1, and this is what I use it for in my team the most. So we have all of my virtual assistants on a SellerAmp account, and whenever they find a lead, all they have to do is go in here, plug in their cost price. So right near, it was like $6 at Walmart, and then all they have to do is click their name. So let's say my VA's name is Mike. Mike goes in here, he clicks his name, and then it's going to send a bunch of information about this item to a Google Sheet. I've got the Christmas one already pulled up, so I'll just show you how it works. So I clicked Christmas, we open up our Google Sheet over here, and this is all configurable. We can add a whole bunch more information, even less information that we want compared to this. But when we press that, it exports all that data automatically. So I've got the name, I've got the ASIN URL, it's stored my cost price and profit margin, all that kind of stuff. There's also a ton of different things you can configure on the back end to keep track of. And that's a great way that we like to keep track of what leads we're finding, because then when my team or myself are going back through the leads that we're identifying, that's how we're judging who's doing well within the team, which leads are worth coming back to, especially when you have a big giant list. Hopefully one day you sit at home, you'll have a big list of 5,000 products that you've found over time, and then you can come back to those Google Sheets when certain sales come back. This is a big thing we do. Let's say you're buying a bunch of items from Walgreens. On your Google Sheet here, you could just do Control F for Walgreens, or even a particular sale, right? In this case, there's no Walgreens on this sheet, but you could go back, and that helps you find leads that you've bought in the past or sourced in the past on certain coupons. It helps you remember stuff that you had forgotten about in the past. And the reason, this is another use case for this feature, the reason that this one is called Christmas in this case is, let's say we go to, let's say we're looking for Legos, or we're just doing our regular sourcing as is, but let's say we come across something that the price spiked last Christmas. It was a Lego set, some kind of toy, a pair of shoes that sold really well during Christmas. I would just go ahead and again press the Christmas button on my Google Sheets here, and then come October, November, I can come back to my Christmas Google Sheet. You can see here I've got a couple Lego things that I'd added here in the past for me to come back to that kind of spike in price during Q4. So once we get closer to the Q4 season, I'll come back, review those items, see if maybe Amazon's already going out of stock on some, see if maybe those sets got discontinued, or any kind of price spikes that we would expect to have some really big returns during Q4, because you're going to come across a lot of items like that. Like, we're about to have back to school as we're recording this, and I've had a back to school sheet on my personal SellerAmp account, all that kind of stuff, and we were able to reference that during this recent buying season and buy a bunch of stuff like markers and backpacks and all that kind of stuff that we saw big price increases on last back to school season. And then all we had to do is click that button, come back to it, a couple months ago, and now we're pretty ready to roll for back to school season.
Wow, fantastic. And the one thing I really like about that is, she said, you're talking about exporting to different sheets, and what you're not doing is not just sourcing for right now, you're thinking about the future and thinking about other seasons that are coming up. And it might be the case that, I know it in my own business, whereby maybe you're doing storefront stalking or reverse sourcing, you've found a supplier which is currently out of stock, but they're a good price, and you're like, right, let's save that, because maybe that might be like your, need to recheck for whether the supplier's back in stock sheet, for example, or like Christmas, or like you're just spotting.
One of those.
Yeah, and even like products with seasonal trends, you're like, right, this product right now isn't great, but I can see that that's going to be a seasonal one, right? That's a summer product, save that to the list. And the funny thing is that, and we both know this, is this game isn't just about how hard you work today, it's about preparing yourself for the next seasons coming up, learning from previous data, and that just speeds up your efficiency. So I love this, and I love how the fact that you can actually not just save it to one sheet, but like you can have all your different sheets, like not just the VA sheet, but like, kind of like seasonal times, which is really good, and obviously that's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. So that is hack number 3, and really kind of exporting to different sheets and really planning ahead. So I love that. So if I just give a quick summary, we've got hack number 1, reverse sourcing or storefront stalking, obviously reverse sourcing thereafter. Absolutely love that. Number 2, the one-click search, speeding you up and doing that deal analysis on the site, she said the sale or wherever you are. And then finally, number 3, which is exporting to different sheets and obviously planning ahead and using that to your advantage, especially with Christmas just around the corner. You could now start finding those products which are going to be ready. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. So if anyone wants to get in contact with you, maybe follow you, what's the best way? How can they do that?
Yeah, for sure, Ben. I've been making a bunch of content, help you guys out in your Amazon businesses. Fields of profit on pretty much all platforms. If you want to go check out YouTube, that's probably the easiest. You're probably watching this on YouTube right now. But lots of information to help you use SellerAmp, all kinds of other different tools to grow your Amazon business.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And what I will say is I'll drop it down below. So we'll drop a link to obviously all your social media handles. We'll put them down below. Do check it out. So much content, and obviously like really talks through the journey and gives top insightful tips, just like the are today. So if you like this, do hit the thumbs up, do hit subscribe, and also make sure you subscribe as well to Warner's channel. I think obviously you would love that as well. Warner, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to let you get back to building your 7-figure business and scaling into Q4, but thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.